Hi loves, it's Lacey and welcome to our space. And today is the Container Garden Challenge. It is a challenge that I am co-hosting with my friend Denise over at This and That with Denise Jordan. And actually this is her brainchild and she is graciously saying that I am co-hosting with her. However, Denise has done everything for this challenge and I am just lucky to be invited in it. So what we've asked you is in the past for this, because this is the 4th year we're going to be doing, is to take some kind of container and do your spring gardening in it. And before, we always wanted you to try to challenge yourself to think out of the box. So I'm going to show you right now some past challenges, starting with this picnic basket that I used for my very first container challenge. I lined it with a garbage bag and put some stones in it from the Dollar Tree for drainage, and as you can see it has this beautiful gingham on the inside, and I planted in both sides of this picnic basket. I think it is gorgeous and it turned out really well. I was excited to do this challenge for the very first time with such a unique piece. And that was what this challenge was all about, a unique way to show off your garden without having to plant in actual gardening, because a lot of people are in condos or apartments or just don't have the gardening space, but you can always plant in a beautiful container, and we were thinking out of the box on this one. I had some petunias, some snapdragons, some impatiens, some geraniums in here, and a big spike, and I think it turned out really well. Also, if you saw in the corner, I had this beautiful yellow bicycles. I'm not sure where it came from. I will link the challenge down below so you can check it out. And I put it chock full of succulents. For my next one, the next year, I used this little green watering can. I'm not sure where this came from. It might have been Target's Dollar Spot. And I spray painted it this kind of hammered copper color, and I put it down in a pot on its side. This was a Pinterest inspired DIY challenge. I chucked it full of these hens and chicks succulents. I always have these on hand. And then I added some stones, little pebbles from Dollar Tree in 2 different colors. You could look this up on Pinterest. It was everywhere at the time, and I just wanted to recreate something like it, and it turned out really pretty. Now, this sits out by my gazebo just like this every single solitary year, and it actually grows really full. This is what it looks like this year. I ended up every year taking out some of the succulents because they get so big and so full, and this sits out even during the winter. I just covered up with some leaves and it continues to grow. So I just refreshed it this year, and this is what we have, and I'm in love with this. I will also link this video down below, because the next DIY that I did for this year is my favorite container garden that I did. It was a wishing well, and I did a floating fountain in it. As you can see, it is like an illusion, like a little magic trick. I have water floating down from a spigot that is not connected to anything. Here you go, you can see. And if you want to see how I do this, it is on a pump, obviously, and the pump lights up at night. I will link that video down below in the description box as well. This was my favorite thing that I ever did for this container garden challenge. I have a water plant floating in it. I was going to get a water lily too, but I couldn't find them anywhere. And unfortunately, this project ended up getting destroyed. Last year, I had this off of my radar altogether, but I ended up pulling it out at the last minute. I used a cigar box here, and let me tell you, I should have lined it with some plastic for drainage, but I put pebbles in and I forgot to put the plastic down so that the box wouldn't get ruined. I fixed my problem immediately, but I ended up putting in all of these beautiful succulents and adding a Dollar Tree sign on the back of it that said, "There's no place like home." I put a hens and chicks in here, and another succulent, which I don't know the name of, this like kind of curly leaf green one. He ended up coming out of there right away because he did not like being so crowded. So I ended up taking him and putting him out by what was our pond. But this vine here, it is so beautiful. It's really soft, and it gets these little pink flowers that bloom, as you can see here, and it grows super, super long. I don't know the name of this. If anybody knows the name of this, please tell me. I looked for it all year long this year and could not find it anywhere. I ended up bringing him in the house and he ended up flourishing. So this is what this looks like this year. I have hens and chicks galore in here and another little succulent that I added into the back. It's outgrowing this pot already. So I'm going to be repotting this and putting in new succulents that I kind of take care of, and I grow new ones every single solitary year. So this one, I'm going to probably have it in there only for another month or so, and then it'll be replanted somewhere else. I added a little bird and of course one of my signature butterflies, and this is a much, much deeper cigar box. I do have plastic in there and it doesn't smell like cigars, so that's not the reason the plants don't like it. I just think they get too big or they're too crowded. So this year, here we are. I like to have something super unique, but this you can buy anywhere. It came from at-home stores and I lined it with a coconut basket. Here is that little vine that I had in the cigar box last year. I brought it inside because it will not survive Michigan winters, and I put it in the pot that it's in, and look at how huge it got. Now it got really big outside to start with, and then it got bigger inside the house over the winter. It hasn't bloomed yet because it doesn't get enough sun in the light inside my house, but I am going to put it up in that pot on the wall along with some of these beautiful impatiens that I have in the same kind of pinky color. And here it is. I do this every year and I normally put new plants in there, but this year I'm using one that I brought in for the very first time. I think it's going to be really, really pretty when the pink flowers come in on this vine. I know it is considered a succulent, I think, but no one knows what it's called. I took pictures of it and took it to the nursery and they couldn't even tell me, and I couldn't find it. So here is going to be my last one. I found this little duck at the thrift store. It is cut out of one piece of wood. It is handmade. Someone made it themselves. They drilled little holes in it and then took either a jigsaw or a scroll saw and made the circle around it. And the bottom part is cut off, and then they spiraled it in the middle. So then when you set it up, the bottom part will twist out. It's just got a little screw to make it stand so it'll stand up. And you can already see that the inside is starting to push in just a little bit. So you can flip that circle, and this is the part that I don't know exactly how they did it. I'm going to investigate it. I was going to paint this white, but I left it the natural wood color because it makes a little container, and I am in love with this. I think it's so cute. If you painted it white, it would be so cute. So I took some pebbles and I put them just in a little Tupperware. It's one from the Dollar Tree. I think it's by Betty Crocker. And then I added in one of the succulents that I grew on my own with some dirt, and I'm going to set that right in there so I don't damage the wood. It is varnished and everything, but I don't want it to like rot away. I think this is a really cute little container. I know you guys can't get it, but I'm going to try to figure out how to make the duck and then do another video on it. I just took it and set it inside and then covered it with some moss so that my little succulent is tucked in. You know, succulents love to drought, and so you don't have to water it that often. You just have to make sure that it doesn't get overheated and too dry here in Michigan. But I put him out on my porch and it's so cute, and I absolutely love him. And he probably will do fine in this most of the season. When he gets too big, I will take him out and plant him somewhere else. So that is it for this container garden challenge. I want to thank Denise for including me, and I will link her channel along with the playlist, along with my old challenges down in the description down below. And if you are not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with what I'm going to do next. Bye, loves.